Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports. I'm CJ Tully, and Super Bowl Sunday is just a few days away. Let's talk about it. Now, this Sunday, we're going to have a Super Bowl taking place that not a lot of people would have expected to happen before the season. Now, I did have the Seahawks in as my 2 seed, and I had the Patriots making it at a wild card spot, but could have never expected the two to meet in the Super Bowl. Now, for the Seattle Seahawks, they're coming off a 31-27 win in their NFC Championship matchup. This was a big win for the team. It showed that the offense could get going, even if the defense does seem to let up a good 21 points there for them. On the Patriots side of things, they haven't needed a dominant victory yet. They defeat the Broncos 10-7 in a very snowy game where the Broncos pretty much cost themselves by not going for a field goal early in that game. But here we are in the Super Bowl. Seahawks, Patriots, this is a rematch of a Super Bowl we saw not all too long ago where we saw them not run the ball with Marshawn Lynch. So it's going to be an interesting rematch. These teams are very different, and the Patriots are in a whole different realm right now than where they were with the Belichick and Brady era. So there's a lot riding on this here for Patriots fans. Can they do it without Belichick and Brady? It's going to be a great storyline heading into it. Staying here on the storylines, though, we have to look at two in particular. Starting off here with Sam Darnold. This guy's story has been incredible, and it goes a lot to the same kind of things that we're seeing with Baker Mayfield. We're now seeing them with Sam Darnold, where you go to a new environment and you change your career. This has been the storyline for Sam Darnold. He started it last year with the Vikings, but after being drafted in 2018 with the New York Jets, he stayed there until 2020. He was seeing ghosts. Everything was falling apart for Sam Darnold and his career. He then goes over to the Panthers. He doesn't get much traction there. Same thing goes for the 49ers. Then last year, he has a career year with the Vikings, going for over 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns. A tremendous year here for Sam Darnold. He then goes over to the Seahawks this season, and nobody's really expecting him to be able to do the same kind of things. This was seemed to be an outlier last year, but he comes over here with the Seahawks, and he performs just as well, maybe a little less production there by the passing yards and touchdowns, but not all too far off with more 4,000 yards again and 25 touchdowns on the season. Now, Sam Darnold has shown up in a big way in many games here for the Seahawks. He does have the interception issue, which we'd seen in a few games where he was costing them games. With that, they did end up pulling out a late victory after he had a few interceptions in one game. But we'll see what Sam Darnold we kind of get here on Super Bowl Sunday. This is obviously going to be a lot riding for him and his career. He has some great weapons around him. But overall, just the storyline of Sam Darnold, to go from where he was to seeing ghosts and not being able to get his career together to coming over and now playing in a Super Bowl, it's a tremendous story. Same kind of storyline goes here for Mike Vrabel. We saw him. He played with the Patriots early in his career, won a Super Bowl or a few Super Bowls there with them. He then gets into coaching. He coaches with the Titans from 2018 to just a few years ago. And the Titans just could not bring him anything. I don't think anybody could do anything with the Titans. We'll see what they're able to do with their new regime this year, but it just seems like the Titans are in purgatory and they're not able to get anything going. He then goes and spends a year with the Cleveland Browns, where he's one of their consultants for their passing and their coaching. So not too much going on there with him in that year. He then comes over to the Patriots, and he turns the entire culture around this year with that team. They bring in Stephon Diggs. They bring in Will Campbell at the offensive line. They're able to also bring in Trevion Henderson at running back. Drake May takes a step up, and this Patriots team has been completely different under the Mike Vrabel realm. And I'm really excited to see what he's able to do, knowing what it's like to be in a Super Bowl as a player and how he translates that over to being a coach now in the Super Bowl. Something else I want to talk about here leading into this Super Bowl are the Wildcards. If you guys have been following me here on Let's Talk Sports or even Locker Room Buzz on my live radio show, you guys can check that out as well. I talk a lot about these Wildcards, these players that might come up in big situations that nobody's really expecting to do so. We saw this in the College Football National Championship and throughout the entire playoff run with Charlie Becker for the Indiana Hoosiers. He showed up in a big way in the Big Ten Championship, going for over 150 yards. He then continued to be a very insurmountable piece for that team with the Indiana Hoosiers in the playoffs. He goes for over 100 yards a few times. He's able to make the big catches in the College Football National Championship, and he is that wild card player. I said the same thing with the MLB in their World Series, and you just see this with a lot of teams. That guy who just shows up, that nobody's expecting to do something, and he makes that difference. So who can be one of those players here in the Super Bowl? I'm going to start off here with Trevion Henderson. We have not seen much of him in the playoffs. He showed up in a big way, though, in the end of the season. When Ramondre Stevenson wasn't able to go, we started to see Trevion Henderson finally break free. He was a player that I expected a lot from this season, and they just hadn't really given him many opportunities early in the season. We're now seeing the same kind of thing happen here in the postseason, where he had 9 carries, 12 carries, and just 3 carries against the Broncos, and just not able to be consistent. 27 yards being his most here in the postseason rushing. but he does have potential to be a difference maker, and that's where I'm looking to see Trevion Henderson come out of his shell a little bit here in the Super Bowl. He's great on the screen passes. He has National Football Championship experience last year with Ohio State, so I don't think the stage will be too big for him, and I'm really looking forward to see him getting a bigger role. Now, Ramondre Stevenson is a big back, and I'm expecting them to really hand the ball off to him a lot of this game, but maybe they get creative and they use Trevion Henderson, and he can kind of have a Corey Clement role like he had there with the Eagles in their Super Bowl win. I think we can start to see the same thing here with Trevion Henderson. Next up on this list is somebody that I don't even know if necessarily it's going to be a wild card, but Raheem Shaheed. This guy has been the best pickup from the trade deadline in the NFL. He's come in here. He's been a difference maker on special teams. And even just a few weeks ago, having that big one reception for 50 yards, he has that ability to just be a big play player. And I'm expecting to see that out of him here in the Super Bowl, to just have that explosive play that maybe gets you a first down late, or that can change the pace of a game with a punt return. I'm really excited to see here what we can see out of Shaheed in the Super Bowl. Finally, I'm looking here at A.J. Barner. This guy has had only 2 receptions in the playoffs for the Seahawks. He's their tight end. But in the regular season, 6 touchdowns, and he was one of their top receivers. Look for him to be a difference maker in the red zone. Maybe you're not able to get it going necessarily with the run game. Maybe they're locking you down with Christian Gonzalez on the outside for the Patriots. Maybe you're not able to get JSN open on every play. Look for A.J. Barner to maybe be a difference maker here in the Super Bowl. This will now all correlate to my pick for the Super Bowl and my reasoning. Now, I want to preface this by saying I was looking for every reason to keep this game close, to give the Patriots an edge, and maybe they can win this one. And it kept coming back to Trevion Henderson having that breakthrough game like I had mentioned. Drake May hasn't been perfect here in the playoffs. He's had some interceptions, had some fumbles. And that's kind of scaring me here heading into the biggest game of his career, as he is still a young quarterback without much of this experience. Now, he's had a great season, don't get me wrong. He's beaten some great defenses. In the playoffs, he's beaten 3 of the top 5 defenses, so you cannot put anything past him. But you look at this dominance of the Seahawks. Their offense can get flowing at any point. You have weapons everywhere. Their defense, that can get you at any point. They are not going to be an easy team to score on. And the Patriots are going to have to score about 25 points for me to think that they have a chance. And I just don't see that happening here with how dominant the Seahawks team has been. Like I said before, even on special teams, Raheem Shaheed could break one free at any point, just break a 50-yard punt return or kickoff return. Maybe that is where the Patriots can get an edge if they're unable, or if they're able to stop the Seahawks from getting those little edges. I just don't see that being the case. I have the Seahawks winning 32-13. And I don't think that the Patriots really stand a chance. Again, I would love to see this game be close. I'd love to see Drake May and Mike Vrabel go on this legacy run here. I just think the Seahawks are way too powerful this year. There's way too much talent on that offense to just be able to lock down everybody. JSN, I expect to have a big day from him. And Kenneth Walker, the way that he has shown up in the postseason, finally getting his touches, finally finding the end zone. I'm expecting a big day out of him too. 2+ touchdowns is what I'm taking for Kenneth Walker. And I just see the Seahawks steamrolling here. But let me know what you guys think. Who are you taking here on Super Bowl Sunday? You can always check me out at Let's Talk Sports. That's Let's TAWK Sports. That is on TikTok and on Instagram. Check me out for the latest. Check me out here on YouTube. And you can check out my website at letstalksports.com as well. As always, I appreciate you guys checking this out. And thank you for being a part of this NFL season with me. Look forward to talking about the game afterwards. And let me know who you guys have.